dancing, or me and Kalani are dancing, but he doesn't really dance. We're getting drinks. Of course, you know the line's gonna be long as hell getting drinks, but we do it anyway because we're about to get lit. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, unless this is your first time here, in which case, hi, I'm Alfie, and this is See Here It's Alfie, the channel where I post what I want whenever the time calls for it. Hi guys, hope you're all doing well, staying safe, drinking water, and all that shabazz. I'm back this week with another video. Consistency, yeah. I'm back this week with another video, and this time it's a story time.
Yeah, get into it.
Because I know y'all love that, and you know what? I still have some more stories to share with you guys at my expense. But I feel like that only adds to the humor of the entire thing. Sharing your embarrassment with friends only makes it easier to deal with. And easy to tell my therapist. It becomes much easier after you've shared it like 25 times. So this time I'm going to tell you guys about another escapade that I had in Korea, and I know that I've mentioned in a previous video about how I am inept when it comes to the opposite sex. So we're going to just double down on that. I'm going to give you guys some examples. And by example I mean one. It's a story in which I ended up actually almost falling.
Yikes.
Face first.
Yikes.
In a club in front of a girl that I found attractive.
Hellfire.
Because she wanted to push me and encourage me to speak to him. And I almost died.
Don't
talk to men ever.
because you will get pregnant and die.
Well, not me per se, but my pride and dignity. Because I'm already running on empty anyway. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please give this video a big fat thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe because I'm here with new videos every week. And you know, there might be a bit more spicy story times coming your way. And also please make sure to put on post notifications so you get a notification whenever I post. Well, let's jump into it, shall we, darlings? First point of business, setting the scene. Set the scene. All right, I'm 19 or 20 in Korea. So a night out with the gals. If you don't know by now, I'm with the usual suspects. Betty. We're not gonna go there. My girl Kalani. We're out on the town. We're going out having a good old funky time. And I think if you've watched my other story times, then you must be well accustomed with a place called Itaewon in Seoul, which is the foreigner district of Seoul, in which there's loads of foreigners, blah blah blah, loads of clubs, loads of bars, whatever. Right. Honestly speaking, like, I feel like Kalani was more so a big fan of Itaewon, and at the time me and Betty were more fans of a place called Hongdae. With time, I did become a true lover and believer in Itaewon. I love that place now. I do. Something always happens, okay? Something always happens. Sure, it's rowdy with a lot of people and stuff, but like the entertainment never stops. The night never stops.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before.
And plus, after clubs, we'd go get a kebab afterwards, and like you can't really get that in Hongdae. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I ended the night in Hongdae, I'd go get monster pizza. But it's not everyday pizza. Sometimes it is kebab, you know, and that's more akin to like a British night out. So I was like, why not go Itaewon? It's fun. And so I grew to love Itaewon. Anyway, moving on. So we're out on the town. We go to one of our favorite places ever called Prost. Okay. So we walk in Prost, you know, we're having a good time, we're funky, we're dancing, whatever. This is also a place that we've been to that I mentioned in my first ever story time, in which I met the great Korean Gatsby. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link up there for you to watch it. The vibes are good, we're all vibing, we're all dancing, or me and Kalani are dancing, but he doesn't really dance. We're getting drinks. Of course, you know the line's gonna be long as hell getting drinks, but we do it anyway because we're about to get lit. So we're getting drinks, we're feeling good, we're dancing. Of course, there are no tables available because this is Prost. Wake the hell up, girl. You're not gonna find any table. Unless you're gonna, again, scam another set of guys out of tables, and you know how to end up again, if you haven't seen it. And so we're looking around, looking at people, whatever. We're not there just to like hunt. Ooh, animalistic. I'm going too deep with the animal stuff. No, that's not. Back it up. We're not just there just to like look at guys or whatever. We're there to have a good time and like, you know what you're saying, if you're vibing and there's a good company around and there's good attractive people to look at, you're gonna have an extra good time. Period! So we were just doing that, and of course I look around and I see the most beautiful man.
Most beautiful man in the world.
What? Most stunning, beautiful man I've seen. Oh, just my type. Tall, dark hair, which is funny because I actually prefer blondes. I can't get behind it unless it looks like your scalp is like dying, okay? Peroxide. I like that, I vibe with that. It's not really beautiful because he's not Taemin. I need to be honest, he wasn't that. But funny enough, this guy actually looked, in saying that, this guy actually did look a bit like Taemin, and probably why I was attracted to him. And like, I feel like my friends would back me up about this, like, oh yeah, he looks a bit like a mix between Taemin and Kai. Okay, he looked like, I'm not like, believe me, I promise, if I could show pictures I would, but I can't because privacy, girl, no, I'm not doing that. But like, I promise, please Lord, please, like, for the sake of like the story, just believe me for now, okay? Right, thanks. So he looked like a bit mix of like Taemin and Kai. I make it known to like Kalani and Bae, and I'm like, there's like a super cute guy there, and Kalani's like, and I'm like, Kalani, we've been friends for like, what, 2 years now? You know how the hell I am with the opposite sex. It's not happening, okay? Thank you, girl. I prefer to stay over here and drink my Jack and Coke, okay? I'm not going over there. And so Kalani's like, okay, you know what? Like, let's just like dance in the area and see what happens. So like, I'm like, okay, that's fair. Stupid girl!
Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Watch me. Who are you?
That's a common thing that we do. She lulled me into a false sense of security and took it from her. I was gonna tell you I loved you. she like lulled me into a false sense of security and was like, this is something we've done before. Just dance, like go like in that area and dance, act like we're dancing, whatever, get a closer look. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. Doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean I'm gonna talk to them, right? Well, we dance over, we're dancing, me and Kalani, because Betty was just like, yeah, I finna not do that, I'm gonna stay here. I think at the time we actually were able to get a table. Oh my god, what a success story. The night began with success, it ended with failure. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. It's not exactly failure, but I'll elaborate. Let's continue. So Betty was holding down the fort at the table, and so like it's just me and Kalani like literally dancing in front of each other like this, and like we're having a conversation like this, and Kalani's just like this. I'm gonna push you into him, and I'm like, the fuck you won't. I wish you would, girl. I will destroy you and everything you love. I promise you that. Anyone else that's having a good conversation between friends? No, I'm threatening her life.
It's what she deserves.
You better not. And plus, because like Kalani is taller than me, which is not hard, but like she's taller than me, but she's quite like skinny. She's like a smaller female, and so like I was like, go, no, push me where it won't work. Listen, okay. As soon as she said that, I was like, whatever. I don't know what came over her. I don't know like if Hulk himself, all the Avengers teamed up or something like that. Something came over her. Okay?
Thanks to Mr. Satan, the long-awaited energy has finally arrived from Earth.
She beefed up real big, got real hands. I said, I pushed me with her life. And I literally flew, bitch. I flew, girl. I was like, oh,
Jesus Christ.
and of course the direction that was flying in towards Taemin Kai dude, who was also there with his friend, but his friend less important, but the friend actually adds to the story as well. I'm able to literally save myself in time, but like by that point I was like so embarrassed that like I was like, frick, I'm literally stood right in front of Taemin Kai guy and his friend, and like I kind of look up and Taemin guy and his friend are looking at me like, bitch, I was waiting for you at the door. That's the vibes that gave me. I said, oh no. And so immediately Alfie's fight or flight sequence thing is going off in my head. I'm like, bitch, you finna run. Okay, we finna get the fuck. But at the time, my logic side was like, girl, you know you can't run anywhere. That was bait as hell. At this point, like literally 2 seconds of like passed, but it feels like it's been a year with like the fight in which is being waged inside my head. And you know what? Eventually, I'm just like, I'm so sorry. This is all in Korean. I'm so sorry. My friend pushed me. Sorry about that. Hi, Tay guy is like,
It's fine.
and so then I'm like, let's work with it, girl. And so I'm like, oh yeah, like, what are you guys doing here? The worst line in a club. Oh, I don't know. They're here to praise the Lord, Alfie, in this place of debauchery. What else could they be doing? You stupid Of course, they're just like, yeah, we're just here, like, originally from a different city in Korea, but I've just come here for the weekend. So like, and he's like, other friend whose wife just went in front of his wife as hell, and he's just like,
yeah, he's come here like to visit. Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, not gonna lie, in my head I was like, I don't really care. But we're talking, learning a bit more about each other, and I'm like, oh yeah, can I get your guys' cacao? He's like, yeah, sure. And his other friend is like, yeah, sure. I still have the cacao to this day, and it's like been 3 years later. Madness. The story is kind of long, so if you guys want a part 2, I will like make a part 2. Story gets a bit mad. It like develops over the years. I see it's a saga, girl. It's a saga. He's like, yeah. Here's my cacao ID. Here's my cacao ID. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, guys. And then his friend was like, oh, you're so cute. I'm like, ready to laugh off and be like, whatever, sort of thing. The boy comes in close, hugs me, and then kisses me at the corner of my lip. And I'm like,
Ambulance! Where the ambulance? What?
In my head, I'm literally dying. I'm like, this is not what I planned. I just didn't understand. Bear in mind, Kalani's still behind us, dancing by herself the whole time, trying to hold the floor up. Like, I'd be like, what the fuck's going on over there? I see lots of things happening, but I can't really tell what the fuck's going on. I can't hear them. So she's dancing by herself over there, holding up the fort. I've just been like accosted by this dude, Kai Tae's friend, and I'm like, Kai Tae is like,
Oh my god, I'm so sorry about that. I'm literally so sorry. He's really drunk.
I'm like, I can tell ya. Eventually, like, we stop talking and like, then we go and leave. And then like, oh, did they leave first? I think we left first. Or something like that. We left Prost. Eventually, we were like, yeah, it's getting a bit late, let's go home. I texted him, I actually texted him like, I'm being like, yeah, it was nice meeting you, whatever. And then he texted me back and he was like, yeah, it was really nice meeting you too, we should go out sometime. I was like, wow, I'm a pimp. I'm a player. I was like, what? Girl, no one can ever touch me again. I fell into a guy and I got his number and like, he says we should go out sometime, even though that doesn't mean anything unless the plans have been made, but I'm gonna get there eventually. Kalani's like, I'm so proud of you, I'm so proud of you. Meanwhile, I'm like, it's taken God, Buddha, Shiva, everyone to hold me back from beating Kalani the f up. I'm gonna swing on this girl so hard, but at the same time, I'm like, if you didn't push me, then like, this wouldn't have happened. And she's like, yeah, exactly, don't hit me. Thank you. And so like the night ends like that. Girls and boys, kitties. That's not the end of the story. So fast forward, I think like at least a week or so, we like make plans to meet up, and like I'm shitting bricks. I'm like, this is a lot. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring a friend. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring a friend too. And I think Kalani was busy or something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna bring Betty. I was like to Betty, yo, can you come with me as like my double date, please? Because she was literally just like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, cool. And so we made plans to go meet up in Hongdae, because he was like, yeah, I'll drive. Because remember, he lived in a different city. He was like, I'm gonna drive to Seoul, and we can like, you can show me around where we want. And so I was like, yeah, we can like, okay, so why don't we meet up in Hongdae at like, of course, everyone's gonna say what exit? Exit 9. That famous exit that everyone meets at, the one where KFC is there, and ABC Mart. Girl, everyone knows what I'm talking about. And so he's like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'll see you there. I'm looking forward to it. And I think it was a Saturday, and I was like, yeah, okay, looking forward to it too. Girl, tell me why I was late. I left the house so late. I thought I was looking like so cute, whatever. And plus I live in Annam. Betty lived like near Hongdae, so she could take a bus and it would be like, what, 10 minutes? Imagine, I was later than him and his friend, and they were coming from a different city. Wow. Okay, I had to get a taxi from Annam to Hongdae, and traffic was so bad. I was texting like Betty, being like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I was also texting him at the same time, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And he's like, no, it's fine, like, we'll just like drive around or whatever. It's chill. So So eventually I get there, we like meet in front of ABC Mart, me and Betty, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, she's like, you're late as fuck. And I'm like, I know, you're not saying anything, I really don't know. And then so basically texting him, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here now. And he's like, okay, yeah, cool, we're gonna walk back to the exit now and come meet you. Like, where exactly are you? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in front of ABC Mart with like my friend, and I describe what I'm wearing and stuff like that. And then like, me and Betty are waiting there. We're waiting, and then I look over and I see him approaching like with this girl, and I'm like, oh my god, he's even finer in the daytime. Because remember, I saw him when it was dark, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say like club lights are deceiving. Okay, you can think someone's hot as fire, and then when you see them in the daylight, they're like booty cheeks. So, but he might be thinking the same about me.
I give it to you. You got me there. Right. So.
You say hi, and it's a bit awkward, not gonna lie, because we're like, this is awkward. I'm like, where, like, and it's like, where should we go? Let's go find somewhere to eat. Go to eat dakgalbi at one of my favorite places in Korea. We're talking, but again, it's a bit awkward, but we're learning a bit more about him. He's like a hairdresser. He wants to become like a professional hairdresser, but he's a trainee right now. I'm learning a bit about his friend as well. His friend's super funny. They're like cracking jokes amongst each other, and like me and Betty are like cracking jokes with each other as well. It's like, it's good, it's chill, it's chill, it's chill. After we finish, we all pay, and then like he's like,
You should go to a cafe.
Afterwards, so we go to like the Coffee Bean, which is like literally like right next to, not next to, but like 2 minutes away from Uganda in Hongdae. So we go to Coffee Bean, and like he's like,
oh yeah, what do you guys want?
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this. Betty's actually gonna get that. His friends are like, I'm gonna get that. And so Kai Tae is like, okay, yeah, cool, I pay for it. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I pay for it all. And I was like, why though? And he's also like,
no, like, you came to meet me, like, so I'm gonna like pay for you.
I was like, no, you're the one who came to Seoul to meet me. And he was like, no, I'll pay. And I was like, okay.
That is amazing. Wow. Like, oh my god.
He's like, let's go upstairs and whatever, it's fine. I like don't mind paying for it. I literally wanted to pay for it. Well, like we go upstairs, we're talking for a bit. And then so basically in Korea, when you're at cafes, they have this like bell thing, and it rings, like a portable bell, and you bring it to a table, and when it rings, it means that your drinks are ready, so then you go down and collect it, which is super convenient. Me, Kai Tae, his friend, and Betty, we all sit down at a table upstairs, but we're talking for a bit. The bell rings, and so like I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go get it. And then like his friend suggests that her and Betty go get the drinks, and I'm like, okay, cool. I start shitting even more bricks. Listen, I'm able to build a house with the amount of bricks that I've now shat out, okay? I'm an architect. A shortitect.
Get the fuck out of my goddamn dog.
Cancel me. So I'm like, oh my god, now it's one-on-one. One-on-one! One-on-one! Like the show. They leave, and it's just us two, and then like, he's kind of like, ugh, I hate even describing this bit. Because he's like kind of looking at me like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, what? This is the whole thing. I'm like, what are you looking at? I'm like, okay. And so like we're talking, learning more about each other. Yeah, it was weird. It's like a bit flirty, but I was like, yeah. I was like stumbling through that whole entire conversation. Eventually they come back with drinks, we're all drinking, we're talking a bit more. Betty's like cracking jokes about me and kind of like telling embarrassing stories about me, like in front of him, like stories that like don't like put me in the best light, like the fact that I vomited on my birthday, the fact that like I'm a mess when I get drunk, this and that, like kind of making fun of me and calling me an idiot and stuff like that. And like I'm laughing at the time, but like looking back, I mentioned this in my toxic friends video, that is a sign of a toxic friend. If they like build you up to break you down in front of other people to make them look better. But at the time I was like laughing it off and whatever, even though it wasn't like funny at all. And it gets pretty late where we're like, you know what, let's go home. We walk back to the station. They're gonna get in the car and they're gonna like drive back to fucking Suwon. And so they were like, oh my god, it was so nice meeting you guys, like you're so nice. I think his friend and he start talking to each other for a bit, and it's just me and him, and he's like, it was really nice meeting you and learning a bit more about you and stuff like that. And I was like, no, thank you so much for coming all the way up here to like meet me and stuff like that. Because I know anytime, honestly, it was such a nice thing to do. And then he was like, we should meet again, like, but like alone. And I was like, huh? Sure. Then we hugged, right? And I was like dying inside. And well, we'll learn. Was a good treatment for what happens at the end, but I think I'll save that for like a second part to this story. If you guys want a part 2, please do tell me in the comments down below, because like I said, there are levels to this story and we barely reached the surface. We actually did end up making plans to meet and go out, but like I said, I'll have to save that to part 2 of that story. But yeah, that was the time that my friend pushed me into a guy, and we ended up actually like going out and spending time together, and it wasn't as bad as it like I thought it would turn out, essentially. While the Storytime seems like it came straight out of a K-drama, it doesn't end that way. It more so ends like an episode of Love and Hip Hop. Ghetto. Heartbreak. You know, but I'll elaborate on that in the next time. If you guys want to learn more about what happened, please do leave some comments down below. I hope you guys did enjoy this story time. If you guys want more story times, please make sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up to show it some support and some love. And also please make sure to subscribe and press that notification bell to know whenever I'm making a new video and you're notified by it, girl. Until next time, guys, please stay safe, make good choices, stay hydrated and social distance. And this has been Teehee, it's Alfie. Bye!